Hello guys, welcome to your Yoga with YouTube channel. This little half hour is for cyclists and anyone else really who wants to do a little bit of yoga, but it's really targeted for our core to strengthen that a little bit, maybe a bit of back strength as well. Cycling is a lot about stability, so that'll really help your form. Stretch wise, focus on our shoulders, focus on pulling them back and really stretching out the chest, the arms, legs, and a little bit of stretching in the back as well. I have a strap here. If you have a exercise band or a strap at all, or even like a skipping rope. And we've also got two blocks here. There, you could get like a big book or anything similar to that. You don't need them, it's not a necessity, but if you want to pause and go and grab it, then go for it. I've also got the foam roller here, but that is just because if you're anything like most of the cyclists that I know, not to generalize or put you in a category, but most of the cyclists that I know aren't very good at stretching or foam rollering, and cycling can be quite intense. So I'm just having this here to recommend to you guys to do a little bit of foam rollering on the legs afterwards. Okay, so if you've got everything, if you've got your water, your mat, any props that you want, then we'll just get started. So we're going to start seated, and I'm not going to recommend playing any music quite yet. We'll do a little bit of breath work first, but let's start in an easy sitting position. So whatever feels comfy, if that's cross-legged, if it's kneeling, whatever feels good for you. But wherever you are, bring your hands to your knees, palms facing up the way. Let's all take a breath in and breathe our shoulders right up to our ears, as far as your shoulders can come. Big exhale, roll them back and down. And then settle here, let your shoulders really dip low, give them a little wiggle, let your arms weigh heavy. Let's close our eyes down if it feels okay, or drop your gaze. Feel tall and long in your spine. So your core is a little bit engaged and you feel like your crown is pulling away from your tailbone. Keeping those shoulders drop down. Try to breathe with your stomach and your chest rather than your shoulders. So really letting that tension melt away. I'm just going to do a quick breath work tool that you can use during cycling even as well, during any kind of sports activity. Or if you ever feel stressed or anxious or overwhelmed, you can come back to this breath. So it's called triangle breath, or that's what I call it anyway. I'd like for you to visualize your third eye. So the space in between the gap in between your brows. So in the center of your forehead almost. Envision that as the top of the triangle and the two nostrils as the bottom corners. And just breathe in through your nose, slowly, nice and controlled. Filling the lungs and then exhaling out the nose as well. Take 3 breaths here, really visualizing the triangle. Remember to soften your stomach a little bit. Let the shoulders stay low. Now your next inhale, try to only consider the left nostril, so only focusing on the air coming through the left. Take 3 breaths, just focusing on that left-hand side of the triangle. Really centering yourself, coming into this moment. Take 1 more. And then take your attention to the right. As your lungs fill and your stomach softens, and then big exhale. Let's take 1 more. Okay, and then when you're finished, come back to your regular breath. There's no rush. Take your time. And then we're just going to stretch out our necks. So let's let our right ear fall to right shoulder. Keeping those shoulders nice and low. If it feels okay, you can bring your left arm round and behind you to reach to your right glute. So pulling that left shoulder back to really open you up. Letting your head hang down. Closing the eyes. Maybe have a little bit of movement. Rotating the chin up and down. Still feeling that breath. Come back to the full triangle. Now your next inhale, let's pull ourselves up. Let's release that arm, swap sides. So falling, left ear falling down to left shoulder. And then right arm coming down to left glute if it feels okay. Pulling that shoulder back, dropping the shoulders low, maybe some movement in the chin. Breathing here. Okay, let's come on up. Let's give our arms a shake. Maybe have like a little circle with your head to see how your neck's doing. Maybe take big full circles in both directions. Let's start some movement. So pop on any music that you would like. And let's push ourselves up to forward fold. So plant the soles of your foot and push on up in whatever way feels good. When you get here, if you're feeling stiff, keep a good bend in your knees. Let your heart weigh heavy, let your arms weigh heavy. You don't need to be doing anything extreme. We're just wakening our bodies up. Let your head hang, crown to the floor. Breathe here. Really let your arms hang down, let your shoulders switch off. If you want to really bend into knee, then go for it. You can rest your chest on your thighs. Let's take one more breath here. Okay, let's roll on up really slowly, keeping those arms really heavy, one vertebrae at a time. And then big inhale as your arms come wide and high, reach to the sky, palms meet. Let's make our way all the way back down. So soft bend in the knee, drop your shoulders down your back, and then bring your hands down the center line, folding forward again. We're going to do the same thing. We're waking up our spine. Keep that soft bend in the knee, roll up nice and slow. Use that inhale to lift your arms wide and high. Exhale, bend in the knee, melt your heart forward, hands down the center line, forward fold. Rolling up. Reaching high, palms meet overhead. Okay, we're going to bring our arms down, so hands come to heart center. And we're just going to bring our opposite palms to opposite shoulders. So crossing the arms over, elbows kind of come to meet. Tuck your chin under, really tuck it under to open up the cervical spine, back of the neck. And then we're just going to kind of curve our tailbone under as well. So engage that core. And we're going to go round in circles. So taking our shoulders in a big circle, squeezing that core. Well done. Take up as much space as feels good. You can just have really small circles if that feels good. Let's take one more in this direction. Really tuck your chin under. And then let's go the other way. Take your time. If you want to do it nice and slow, if you want to do it fast, whatever feels good. But engage your core. And then let's all come back to center. Release the arms, give them a good shake. Let's take a big breath in, arms wide and high, palms meet. Let's make our way all the way down. Exhale to forward fold. When you get there, just step on back to downward dog. Take your time here to just be still before we move around. See how your body feels right now. Have a little check-in. And then bend into your left knee, straightening your right. Push into your right hip. So you're really stretching out the hamstrings there. Push through your knuckles, your thumb and your forefinger to stabilize you and reach your chest to your thighs. Come as far as feels good here. There's no expectation or judgment. Let's swap legs. If you feel really tight here and it's too much, then just come down to child's pose. Okay, come back to your regular downward dog. Give your head a shake. Do some yeses and some nos. Just letting the tension release from the neck. Okay, let's drop our knees. If you were in child's pose, meet us in tabletop. So we've got our hands underneath our shoulders, knees underneath our hips. Squeeze your belly button into your back, engaging your core. We're going to do cat and cow. So big inhale, dip your belly button, reach your chest and your gaze and your tailbone high. Pull the shoulders down your back. And then exhale, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, push your whole back to the sky. So really push into your hands, push into your shoulder blades, push into your mid back, and repeat. Let's bring our gaze back high as we inhale, exhale, tuck under. Okay, staying in this tucked under cat position, push your hips back to your heels, so you're really opening up that lower back, keeping your chin tucked, your tailbone tucked. Try and keep your hands where they are, so you're really pulling into the arms and the shoulders, and then release down. So bring your arms in a little bit if it feels good. Take some of the pressure off the shoulders. Your heart should be melted over your thighs, your hips at your heels. Let your forehead meet the ground. Okay, let's come back on up. Straight away into cow, lift the gaze, lift the tailbone, dip the belly button. And then come back to neutral. We're going to lift our right arm and stack the shoulders. So reach the right fingertips to the sky. And then we're going to bring it down and we're going to bring it to the left edge of the mat in front of our left hand. Take a big breath in. Exhale, push back to child's pose, keeping our hands where they are, feeling that big stretch. If you need to move your arms back, then that's fine. You should feel a big stretch in your right hand side here. Push into the right hip to really open up your right side. Okay, big inhale to push on up. Come back to tabletop. Let's do the other side. Left arm comes high. Stack the shoulders. Twist round. And then release left hand to the right side of the mat and push back into child's pose. Feeling that big stretch on the left hand side, push into the left hip. Maybe even bring your seat bones a bit to the left of your feet. Well done, guys. Let's push back on up to tabletop. And then tuck those toes under. Let's make our way back to downward dog. Hips come high, push into your toes. Readjust if you need to. Have a wiggle, paddle your heels. Push into your knuckles, squeeze your chest to your thighs. Okay, we're going to roll forward to plank. So come onto the tiptoes, tuck the chin, roll forward. So as our shoulders are coming over our wrists, readjust where you need to, scoot the feet back if that feels good. Let's lower our knees. Keep your tailbone high, bend into your elbows as you dip your chest and your nose to the ground. And then let your chest come high, let your hips fall, coming into cobra. So elbows tucked into the ribs, palms planted, squeeze your back to reach your chest forward, pull your shoulders down. Breathe here. Okay, let's melt our heart down. From here, we're going to do a little shoulder stretch. Bring your hands wide at shoulder height and bring your elbows above your wrists. Bring your fingertips so they're facing out the way. Engage your back, engage your glutes. Pick yourself on up. Push into your fingertips to help. Straightening the arms, we're going to bring our left shoulder into the center of the mat. So pulling our right shoulder up, left shoulder down. So it's a big twist here. Okay, let's pick up back to center. Let's swap sides. Left shoulder comes high, right shoulder comes down. Well done. Keep breathing. Come back to that triangle breath. Okay, come back to center. Take a big breath in and then big exhale. Melt on down. Let's bring our hands to under our shoulders, tuck our toes. Let's push back to active child's pose. So keeping those toes tucked under, knees relatively close together. Hips come to heels, forehead to the ground. Okay, we are going to push forward to plank. So lift your hips, plant your palms, crawl them forward if you need to, lift the knees. Plank position, push the ground away, push into your shoulder blades, squeeze your core, squeeze your glutes. Try and keep your body level. So if you feel like your bum's too high, bring it on down. If this is too much, come down onto the knees, whatever feels right for you today. Okay, let's come to side plank. So coming onto the knife's edge of our right foot, coming onto our right hand, lifting our left arm, stacking the shoulders, lifting those hips. Well done. Hover that top leg if you can. Again, if this is too much, come down onto that bottom knee. You can lift your leg from there or you can keep it planted. And then if you want to, let's add in some crunches. Let's just do 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. You've got this. Keep those hips high. Okay, we're going to bring our left foot in front of us. Plant it down in front of your right knee. Drop your right hips and bring your left arm parallel with the ground. You should feel a good stretch down here and into your IT band and your glute. Crawl that foot further in if you want a bit more. Oh. Take a breath. And then let's come round to seated position with your legs extended out in front of you. Make sure your seat bones are on the floor, have a shuffle, and bring your crown really tall, drop those shoulders, toes to the sky. Let's plant our hands midway down our thighs. This is where you might want to bring in your blocks. If you have 2, then perfect. Or if you've got books or anything, because we're going to do our L sit. So it's easier if the ground is a little bit closer to you. We're going to lift up our hips off the ground. It's okay to curve into the back here. If you're doing it from the ground, just plant those palms, lift on up. Engage your shoulders, engage your core. Stay with it, you've got this. One more breath. Okay, keeping your hips off the ground, make your way round to forward fold. A little challenge for you. As elegantly as you can. If you have those blocks still and you can have them there beside your feet, have your feet at hip distance. We're in forward fold here. Keep a slight bend in those knees. We're going to go for a side bend. So keeping your left foot where it is, bring your right foot behind your left foot. And then if you can, a little bit further to the left even. Let's bend into our left knee and straighten our right leg. Use that block at a high level even, if you want it at the highest level. We're just going to carry our torso around to the left to really increase that bend, that stretch. Let your head be heavy, let your crown reach for the ground. Take a breath. Okay, let's release back to our forward fold. Put those blocks to the side of the mat. Let's take a breath in and come to flat back. Palms to shins or kneecaps. Pull your crown away from your tailbone. Big exhale, release down. Let's lunge that right leg back. Go for it. So we're in runner's lunge. If you need to drop that back knee, then go for it. Beam your chest forward, pull your shoulders down your back, push into that back heel. Sink your hips low. Okay, let's lift ourselves up. Tuck the tailbone under and sink into that front knee again. Let's bring our hands to heart center. We're going to go for prayer twist. So right elbow to left knee, twist on round, keeping your arms in prayer. Stack the elbows, stack the shoulders. Squeeze your palms together to help you twist around even further. Sink into that front knee more. Okay, you can stay here if you want to really push your core. Hover. So keeping yourself close to the thigh, but using your core. Okay, then we're going to rotate round. So bringing those hands round. Plant your right foot. We're coming into warrior 2 legs. Plant your left hand on the inside of your left knee if you can. Bring in that block if you want to give you height. And then let's extend. So reaching our right arm over, bicep to ear, big straight line. Breathe. Okay, we're going to push into the left foot to come up. Straighten the legs. Arms come wide for triangle. Arms at a T, drop the shoulders. Reach to your left. Engage your core. Let your left arm come down. Right arm high. Again, come as far as feels good. If you want to place your left hand on your thigh, if you want to bring it low, if you want to bring a block in by your left ankle, wherever you are, try to stack the shoulders, try to pull the top shoulder back to increase the stretch, and use your core. Let's take one more breath here. And then windmill the arms down, bend into that left knee, come onto the right toes, plant the hands, and let's push back. Coming into child's pose for a breath. Knees wide, toes together. Let your heart melt down in between your thighs. Let your forehead come as far down as feels good. Again, if you want to bring a block in, rest your head on that. Whatever feels good for you today. Okay, let's breathe ourselves up, come up onto tabletop, take the blocks out the way for now. We're going to come to our side plank on the other side. So like before, let's come to our active child's pose first. Tuck the toes under, bring your hips to your heels, melt your heart over your thighs. Let's extend the arms as far as feels good, plant the palms. Let's push ourselves straight into plank, lifting our knees or keeping them down, whatever feels good. Coming onto the left side this time, dropping the left knee if that feels better, and stacking the shoulders, right arm comes high. If you want to hover the right leg, then go for it. Whether you're in full plank or lower plank, you can do the crunches. 1, knee meets elbow. 2, squeeze your core. 3, and then come on back. Hovering that leg, drop the foot if you need to. Try not to crunch into that left shoulder. Try to push the ground away. Wherever you are, we're going to bring that right foot down. You had your knee bent, extend it. And we're going to bring that arm parallel with the ground. Push into that left hand. Feel that good stretch on your side. Breathe. Let your shoulders drop. Okay, let's come to seated. And instead of making you do the L-sit this time, we'll just have a forward fold. So if you have a strap there, you can use this by just wrapping it round your feet, flexing your feet, and then just pulling your chest forward. If you're quite flexible, then you can do this without the strap, whichever feels good. But let your chest melt forward. Try and keep tall and long in the back. Keep it a really active stretch. Let's take one more breath. Pull a little bit more. Okay, let's release. Let's take the strap away. And let's twist back round for our forward fold in whatever way feels cool. We'll all meet there. Okay. From here, if you used the block the last time, you want to use it again, bring that on in. We're going to do our standing forward fold, side bend the other way. So we're bringing our left foot behind our right this time, and then a little bit further to the right, bending into that right knee, straightening left leg, pushing into that left hip. And then if you want the block, have it at the edge of the mat. Crawl your hands around to the right side of the mat. Let your head weigh heavy. Come back to the breath. You've got this. Let's take one more breath. Okay, let's release back to forward fold. We're going to bring our feet wide so they're coming to the edges of the mat. So our pinky toes are at the edges. Let's bring our toes out the way, heels in the way. We're going to sink down to balasana. Now this can be tricky, so if you have blocks, have them nearby. Sink your tailbone low, so your back of your thighs is aiming for the back of your calves. Your knees are really wide. If your heels aren't meeting the ground here, bring those blocks in to help you relax. It's okay if you're on your toes. It just means that you're very tight in your hips and your lower back. Keep your fingertips planted to help you if you need to. Try and keep a tall, long spine. Squeeze the knees out wherever you are. Squeeze them out with your elbows just to really stretch open those hips. We'll take a breath here. Let the shoulders drop as much as you can. If you can, then bring your hands to heart center. That'll help you push out. Okay, let's plant the fingertips if you had them up. Push your hips high for forward fold. Bring your feet to hip distance. I'm just going to move to the top of the mat. This time we're lunging our left leg back, coming to runner's lunge. So our fingertips are on the ground. Roll those shoulders down your back. Reach your chest forward, push into that left heel. Remember, if you want to drop that back knee, go for it. It's okay to not do the same thing on both sides. Okay, let's lift ourselves up, push into the feet, bring hands to heart center, tuck the tailbone, squeeze the core and sink down. Okay, left elbow to right knee. Stay here if this is enough for you, or twist round. Stack the elbows, push your palms together to twist. Breathe here, pull that top shoulder back. Okay, stay here, or if you want to engage your core, hover, lifting that elbow off the knee ever so slightly. Feel it like you're pulling through your crown. Okay, let's come back up to center. Plant the left foot, twist on round, arms to a T. And then straighten the front leg, coming for triangle. Reach to the right as far as you can, and then release it down. Stacking the shoulders. Again, if you want that block by your ankle, whatever you need, this is your practice, this is your yoga. Do what's good for you. Pull that top shoulder back wherever you are. You should not only feel that in this side, but you should be able to feel it on the inner front thigh as well. Whew. Okay, let's take one more breath here. Big breath in. Big exhale. Let's windmill the arms down, coming back to our runner's lunge, putting the block to the side. Let's step forward to forward fold. And let's just sit back. So come to a seated position on your bum. Soles of the feet planted, knees bent. Tuck your tailbone under to bring your whole spine onto the mat beneath you. Tuck your shoulders under. Let's lift our legs. So soles of the feet to the sky. Plant your palms by your side. Let's bend in the knee. And then we're going to shoot the feet away and then bend them in again. Push away, bend them in again. Inhale here. Exhale, push away. Inhale, bend. Really try to keep your whole back into the ground. Let's do 2 more. Exhale, push away. Inhale, pull in. 1 more. Exhale, push away. Let's release our feet. Whew. Hug your knees into your chest. Give them a big squeeze. Okay, let's rock ourselves up as many times as it takes. And let's come to tabletop. So plant the hands, come back onto knees. Opening up the abs by dipping our belly button, lifting our crown and our tailbone. Exhaling, tucking under. Okay, let's tuck our toes under. This is quite intense. We're going to sit back on our toes. If your weight being on your heels is too much, then keep your hands planted and have some of your weight in your hands. Tuck the pinky toes under. Don't let them be neglected. It wouldn't be fair. Our weight is on our heels, or part of our weight is on our heels. It's uncomfortable for the toes, but it's amazing for our legs, for the arch of our foot, and for much more. Let's distract ourselves by interlacing our fingers behind us and pulling our shoulder blades back, reaching our chest forward. So really opening up those shoulders. Come back to the breath. And then sweep the arms down and in front, interlace palms to your face. And then tuck your chin under, push your shoulder blades back and pull your fingers forward. Well done. So creating a big circle, a big oval. And then rotate the palms to the ceiling, lift your arms, reach your chest forward and high, bring your gaze to the ceiling. And then release down, come back, plant your hands, give your feet a little tap. It's a lot on the toes. Just give them a little tap on the ground. And keep your toes untucked, sit back. We're gonna bring our fingertips to behind us and we're just gonna lean back and then lift our knees. Trying to keep your legs together. Try to keep your whole front of your foot on the ground. Breathe here, pull them up even more if you can. Okay, let's release. Let's come back to our tabletop. And let's lift our right arm high, stacking the shoulders, reaching round for a big twist. And we'll thread that arm on through, bringing our right shoulder, our right ear to the ground. Try to keep your hips over your knees. And then you can extend your left arm overhead to the center of the mat, or you can wrap it round for a bind to your right hip crease. Wherever you are, pull that top shoulder back to really open up the shoulders. Okay, plant the left hand by your face. Push on up to tabletop. Let's go straight into the other side. Lift the left arm. Stack the shoulders. Twist round. And then thread on through. Left shoulder, left ear. Come to the mat. Reaching that right arm overhead or wrapping it round for a bind in the left hip crease. Pulling that top shoulder back. Keeping hips over knees. Okay, let's come back to tabletop. Make your way there. And then just in whatever way feels good, come onto your back with your soles of your feet planted. Knees bent. Grab a hold of that strap on your way there. So let's start with our right leg. Keep your left foot planted for now. And then lift your knee into your right knee into your chest and wrap the strap around your right foot. And then just try to extend your right leg. You can keep a bend in it if that feels good. Just try to have the sole of the feet to the sky. And if it feels okay, you can release that left leg down. Wherever you are, try and pull your knee towards your chest. Doesn't need to be anything crazy. Just nice and gentle. Just take one more breath. Pull it in a little bit more if you can. Okay, let's swap sides. So planting both soles of the feet, bending the knees. Wrapping it around your left foot this time. Bringing the left sole of the foot to the sky. Extending that right leg if it feels okay. And pull your left knee into your chest. Let your shoulders relax. Take one more breath. Squeeze it in a little bit more. Okay, let's release. Let's plant both feet, bend the knees. Bring your right ankle to your left knee and push your right knee away, flexing your right foot. Stay here if this is enough. If you want more, you can thread your arms through to the left leg and pull that left thigh into your chest. So really getting into the right glute here. Keep your right foot flexed. Keep pushing that right knee out of the way. Not to the point that it hurts, but to the point where you feel a good stretch. Come back to that triangle breath. Okay, release that left leg. Let's swap on over. So planting our right foot, bring our left ankle to right knee, pushing that left knee out of the way, flexing left foot, staying there or threading your arms through and pulling your right knee in as much as feels good. Squeeze it, one last squeeze. And then release. Let's plant both feet and let both knees fall to one direction and then the other. Windscreen wiper legs. And pull them on into the chest again. Have a squeeze. And then rock up. And we'll all meet in seated. Take your time to get here. We'll close how we started. So a nice, comfy, easy sitting position. Hands on our knees, palms up. Big inhale, roll the shoulders as high as you can. Exhale, let them fall down. Close the eyes. Take a big breath in. Have a big sigh. Let's bring our hands to heart center and let's bow to close the practice. Well done. Be really proud of yourself. Well done for being here on the mat and for taking the time to look after your body and your mind. And check out any other videos if you enjoyed it. Follow me on socials for any live classes and I hope to see you soon. Lovely to have you. Subscribe and like and comment. Let me know how you found it. Bye. Have a good day.